Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
Hey guys, how are we all doing? Hopefully you guys are all well out there today. Today's video, I wanted to have a guest on, and I wanted to bring on AP Gains to talk about some, different requirements of characters you might want to consider for potential GLs in the future, especially considering the fact that we just got a big drop of the Bad Batch. So we're going to talk about that today on my channel, about some light side GL requirements, and on his channel afterwards, we're going to talk about some dark side. So AP, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastically well. I got my nice little tomato soup. I got my grilled cheese. I got my Ian, who's quite beautiful, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, let's go, man. I'm pretty pumped. We couldn't really think of one off the top of our heads, so we're going to go with this because I think right now with, ideas for videos and just things in general, I think this is a good one to kind of talk about, just to give you a bit of like an idea of what you might want to consider farming, and ones that you might want to maybe hold off on, I guess you could say, to a certain extent. So I'm going to pull up on screen right now the GR, and I think the Galactic Republic is probably the biggest faction tag in the game right now when we're considering, these new GLs. Again, we don't even know when we'll get GLs, but there's a pretty big indicator that we'll get some huge drop on May the 4th. So I think this is a good video to make. So I'm just looking at my whole Galactic Republic right now, my roster. And the ones I think are like no-brainers off the bat are the Bad Batch. And, we're going to have 4 in total right now. We might get that 5th being Echo or whoever that might be. But right now we know there's going to be 4. So in the past requirements for Galactic Legends, we have around 13 to 15 different requirements you need to get those GLs unlocked, right? So there's like 4 right there. And I don't really know the whole 13 or 15 in this list, but I want to say, the Bad Batch are probably going to be like a shoe-in, like you got to have them. And just that alone, though, thinking about the Bad Batch, they're just now marquees. So when we're thinking about potential GLs, we're at least 2 to 3 months away from even having any word of them being dropped, in my opinion at least, because they need to give us some time to farm these guys up a little bit, I guess you could say. So Bad Batch is number 1. AP, you can jump in whenever you want, but I'm just kind of going off of what I think personally with clones, with the Jedi. I really don't know though. I want to say like some of these.
I feel like since Galactic Republic is a pretty massive faction, as you stated before, and so many of them are characters that aren't necessarily used in any other event. We have so many Jedi that aren't used. Of course, the Padmes are used for gas, and Padme's a legendary, and there's some uses in terms of characters there, but there's just a huge opportunity for CG to make money off of characters that aren't necessarily used. Like when we got Sidious leaking as a requirement. No one uses Sidious, but now everyone's got a Relic 7 Sidious in order to get some Galactic action going on. So if you're preparing for teams that are going to be for Galactic Legends, these aren't going to be teams that you might already have relics. So if you have a character, let's say a Jedi Anakin, maybe if we get a Fallen Anakin or some BS like that, or a Kenobi, he might be useful, but more likely than not, they're going to pick characters like Clone Sergeant, maybe a Jedi from the Galactic Republic faction that isn't used.
Wait a second. What about Cup? What about Cup?
Can I get my 69th precinct gang rise up? 69th precinct, boys.
Dude, imagine that though. If Cup is ever a requirement, I would go out of my way to get him.
It's like the Rose Tico, right? It's like everyone's like, Rose Tico, you can't have Rose Tico at Relic 5 for requirement.
Dude, he's actually pretty beastly, man. He's got that stun on a basic. Dude, I'm so down if Cup is a requirement. I'm so down for it.
I would get that Galactic Legend. Everyone who knows me knows I hate Galactic Legends. I would drop fat stacks. All of the ad revenue, all of the super chats is going straight into my Relic 8 Cup.
Yes.
Enough said. I might not even get the other requirements for the Galactic Legend. It might just be the Cup.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll have 1 out of 15 marked off on my Galactic Legend back.
Yeah.
I'm farming Galactic Legend Kenobi. I got my Cup already at Relic 8.
Dude, I'm just thinking, talking about those ones that aren't that great right now, there are so many in this whole faction. I'd say like half of the guys in this faction are pretty good. And then the other half are just pretty trash. I mean, yeah, you have some guys that could be used and useful, but like for the most part, these guys are pretty hot trash, man. I don't really know personally like what we could be getting because this is probably gonna be centered around Clone Wars. There's so many different variations of characters and options for them to be as requirements. Like I don't even know but there are just so many, and I don't want to like be farming these guys right now, but definitely want to be hoarding. And this is a big time for me to be hoarding right now for like whatever's to come next. So man, yeah, there's so many garbage characters in here.
Now, Ian, riddle me this. How would
Okay.
you feel, and I know it's not going to be a problem for people like you, but how would you feel if a relict cam was a requirement for an upcoming, light side Galactic Legend? How would you feel the community would react to that? Because we know Galactic Legends were invented to help the whales have an edge over people who don't spend money, because it was starting to get kind of stale up at the top. So CG worked with their whales, and this was documented. I mean, Cubs has a whole thing about all of these chats getting leaked about how they just want to give these big whales an edge. So do you think they would really gate that off, not only from money, but a time perspective? Because Cam's not a guy you can whale on. Cam is a character that you have to go in and you have to spend time to unlock, months, years even. So how would you feel if CG did something like that?
Oh man, if they required a 7-star cam, not even like a relic one, just a 7-star cam, there's going to be an uproar in even more so than like a relic cup, because there's so much more of a gate onto a cam than there is to a cup. And there's probably gonna be fresh whales just starting to play the game. I remember playing in JC not too long ago, a guy that was like super low GP compared to mine. He has all the GLs, a lot of these high relic guys, and he has all 4 GLs with the ultimate, and he's like probably a big time whale kraken. So like imagine we get those people who are a bit newer to the game, let's say like maybe a year or so in, and they are massive whales and they want to get whatever this new light side GL is that's around the Clone Wars, because I guess it will be, because with a Bad Batch, all these things leading up to that, and it's like a Kenobi or some sort of a clone trooper or whatever for that GL, and it requires this guy. Dude, there's gonna be so many people pissed. I don't think that would be a good move on CG's part, but if you're thinking about like a long-term player, how we just had the JML Master Luke, a lot of people that were longtime veteran players were able to get him unlocked. So, I can see people being happy, some people being a bit upset. I don't know if there's even like a middle ground here. I think it's either going to be people love that or people hate that. For me, I'm on the loving side of it because I already have him, as you can see, Relic 8, but like there's going to be people who don't even have him 5-star or even unlocked. So, man, if I were those kind of people, I'd be pretty pissed. I'd be a little bit salty. And that's why I'm like thinking having a cup is like a way better requirement for those people than having a cam. Because, gosh, having to get all those shards for somebody and only being able to get those shards like once every month, it's pretty sad, actually, to say the least. So
yeah, on the account I use for YouTube, guess how many cam shards I have? I have 3 cam shards.
You have 3 out of the 80?
Quite a lot of light side Geonosis territory battles.
Oh man.
But shout out to my Phantom Havoc for carrying me to 3 cam shards. You guys are really doing the Lord's work, boys.
Oh
but no,
gosh, it's funny.
If they might have gated, like time gated characters, like Wat Tambor. Wat Tambor is a less extreme version, but I can see a Wat Tambor. And when we talk about this on my channel, I'm going to talk about how I believe Wat Tambor will probably be a required character.
Yeah.
Because maybe they can drop a pack, but I see that to be highly unlikely because the whales have been playing for a while. And yes, there is money in new whales, a few $100, a few $1,000 here. But the people who've been playing forever, they're the people who've spent up to $100,000 at this point. I think that's the real market that CG is going to want to tap into. So like you said, it wouldn't be a huge problem if cam was a requirement because you have a relic cam.
Yeah.
For all these people who spent money over the 5, 6, 7, almost like 6.5 years this game's been out.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I think they would be happy. It would go in line with the mission statement of Galactic Legends, which is keep the people who spend more in front of the people who don't spend. So I could see that happening. There would be blood in the water. It would be an uproar.
100%. There's gonna be a lot of upset people. I'm looking at right now Mash Luke and having that Jedi Knight Luke beforehand required for the Mash Luke. That's already a pretty big, a big time requirement character for a GL. So maybe we have some build up with a Bad Batch that requires this legendary or whatever journey character, and then that guy is required for whatever comes next. So, like, I can see that. I don't know if they want to go to the extent of a cam. I could see like a Wat Tambor because that's a bit easier for most people, but man, a cam, that is crazy. That's so crazy. But man, there are so many different like possibilities here. Again, like, we're not talking about this is going to be the GL we're going to be getting, and based off of that, this is what you should be prepping for. No, this is just kind of like thinking a bit of speculating about what ones that are probably worth investing into right now with the current state of the game, you know, with different TBs, TWs, GAC. You know, for example, the Shock T Clones team, 501st, those are great guys to get. So there is no bad downfall side to getting those guys with relics. And then you have those guys, but then you also have people like a Plo Koon. You have some more fleet-based guys, a Clone Sergeant that I wouldn't say are necessarily really bad, but those take a pretty big chunk of investment to get them up with relics, to gear 13, all that sort of stuff. And then the last thing that you got here are just people who are straight up really bad. And those ones I wouldn't even really worry about right now. But if there is coming to a time here shortly where they are, then definitely want to be hoarding and getting your gear ready for those guys. So, you know, that's kind of all I got to say about this. Again, a lot of speculating here in today's video because we don't know. But I think this is kind of worth mentioning because May the 4th will be some big content drop or just some big information going to be hitting us right in the face. And it's going to be very, very nice to have a good idea of what you want to be looking into, you know, for characters, requirements, all that sort of stuff. So, again, this is for the light side part to this. And we're going to go actually over to AP's channel next and talk about the dark side. So, AP, any last words for today?
My knuckles are bleeding. I just punched my microphone. So
why did you do that? Oh my gosh.
I was trying to flex for your camera, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll back up and I'll pull my shirt up." And I just
Should we
punched my
flex right now?
so
Should we flex right now? Should we flex?
Everyone knows that AP Gains is bigger than it's just me. It's just
Dude, I saw those muscles. Heck yeah, dude.
5'3", 127 pounds of pure steel right here.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that's big time, dude.
I'm big time. I don't know. You're a big guy, but you know us little boys gotta hold it down for the.
You gotta hold it down
for short gay Ignatian, baby.
Hold the fort, baby. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a like, share it around, all that sort of good stuff. Again, go check out his video down below. I'll leave it in the description box. So go check it out, guys. And until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out and have a good one. See you guys.